The story, which is about the National Police Service, has appealed against a court order compelling the police to produce arms movement registers in the inquest into the death of Rex Kanyike Masai. In an application filed at the Milimani Law Courts, the police service argues that the ruling, which was to help the court make determination after questions were raised over errors in the register, was irregular, unconstitutional, and in violation of statutory safeguards. In his argument, the officer in charge of the armory, Frederick Okapesi, says his objection to the production of the registers was dismissed, thus undermining his right to be heard. Gatete Njoroge reports.
There are issues which have been raised here that we feel that.
On the day when the third last witness was expected to take to the stand and testify in the inquest into the death of Rex Kanyike Masai, the proceedings were adjourned following an application by the National Police Service seeking to overturn a ruling delivered by the court. In its decision, the court had directed police to produce arms movement registers, which were to be marked as exhibits. In their application, NPS says the ruling was made despite reservations and refusal by the officer in charge of the armory, Frederick Okapesi, to consent to producing the register. Corporal Okapesi, the Central Police Station armorer, in his affidavit, says he objected to the production of the registers based on reasonable apprehension of tampering or alteration while in the custody of IPOA. NPS argued that his objection was not captured and that the move undermines his right to be heard and the transparency of the proceedings.
Illogical.
They further argued that the order compelling the production of evidence was outside Okapesi's authority and contrary to evidentiary rules on public documents as contained in the Evidence Act. NPS says move undermines both confidentiality and the chain of custody obligations binding police armorers.
I'm the one who made that alteration that very morning.
Court made the decision when questions were raised over errors in the register. In his submissions, the officer acknowledged that the register contained errors, explaining that the documents are manually generated and therefore prone to mistakes. He argued that the errors were in good faith, as officers are allowed to strike through to correct the mistake. Court adjourned the inquest to October 30th to allow parties file their responses and submissions. Meanwhile, only 3 witnesses out of the 25 witnesses presented by the prosecution have not testified and will do so when the inquest resumes. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
2 Mogadishu